For a lot of anglers, September bass fishing can be a real grind. And to make matters worse, you look around you and you see guys on the lake catching fish, whether they're on a boat or whether they're fishing from the bank, and it just adds to the frustration. Well, today, we're going to try to help you with that. I'm going to show you some proven tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, especially fishing pressured waters, that get those bass to bite. Stick around, we're going to talk all about it.
Oh, right there, first cast. Come on, you. Come on, you. Oh, he wants to play. Whoa, where you going, buddy?
Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And it's hard to believe it's the month of September already. Boy, this year has just flown right by. However, for many anglers, that means that right now is the hardest time of the year to go out and try to catch a few bass. They're putting their rods up and either waiting for cooler weather or for the lake to be a little bit less crowded, or both. But you know what? There are some nice bites that you can still get if you're willing to make a few changes, maybe change up your game plan just a little bit, and have some on-the-water adjustments. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that I'm doing that have helped me keep those bites going. But before we get started, if you like what I'm doing here, click that subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you as a member of this community. And while you're down there, give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. And hey, if you haven't yet, head on over to patreon.com and check out my members page. It's a place where I post videos that I don't post here, and do interactive polls with my Patreon members. You guys get to choose what I'm putting on my boat, whether it's the new steering wheel, the seat cushions, or even forward-facing sonar. Whatever my Patreon members vote for, that's what I'm doing. So, what kind of changes am I making? Well, first and foremost, in my area, those bass are really on the moving bait bite. I've been doing a lot of square bills. I've been doing a lot of crankbaits. And if you've been watching the past few videos, you've seen that. And that bite has continued. As a matter of fact, the very last time I was out at the big lake, I tied on that little black 6 cents square bill that I've been using. And this is what happened right at the very first cast.
All right. Back to the old 6 cents. Crank-em-a, bait-em-a. Oh, right there, first cast. Come on, you. Come on, you. Oh, he wants to play. Whoa, where you going, buddy? There you go. Come on up in here and say hello. Yep. That old crankbait does it again. Boy, I had him good. I gotta get the old what's-a-dinkles. The old pliers. Let's see if I can get you to stick me in the hand just like the last guy your buddy did the other day. Come on now. Boy, I had you good. You was not going nowhere. Come on, there we go. There we go. Got him free, got him free. Yeah, a little bitty dude, right at a pound. But we still appreciate it on that black crankbait. There you go, dude. Whoop, a little bit of backflip. Alright, let's see if we can't do that again.
So on the first cast, I got a bite. Stained water, which is why I was fishing that black blue. That and the big lake, those bass just seem to love that black blue flake color. Doesn't matter if it's on a worm, doesn't matter if it's on a crankbait, those bass just like it. And even if the water's clear, so that's something about that lake. You might have a color on your lake that those bass are really dialed into. It may not be a match the hatch color, but it might be something that the bass, for whatever reason, really hone in on. For the big lake, it's black blue flake. That's a color that no matter what time of year it is, no matter what type of bait I'm using, those bass seem to go for it. However, fishing a square bill, fishing a deep diving crank, or even fishing a lipless or something like that is something that maybe a lot of guys don't want to do. And you don't necessarily have to, especially if you're fishing from the bank. See, as long as you're keeping that bait moving, as long as you're working it through the water, those bass will be interested. As a matter of fact, if you want to have a good starting point, well, you guys already know I love a fluke. And again, we've got that black blue color. Another color that I like is white. From a boat, from the bank, it's hard to beat a fluke. You can work it gently through the water. For pressure fisheries, this is going to be a gold mine. This is going to be a great way to get some of those tough bites. You know, I'm fishing it just on a standard setup here. Medium heavy rod, bait cast reel that's got some 30-pound braid to a 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. Sometimes I'll go with copoly, sometimes I'll go with monofilament, but I didn't really feel like I needed the added stretch the last time I was out, so this is just a regular fluorocarbon leader. But regular, normal setup. You can do it on a spinning rod. If you want to fish it on a spinning rod, you can fish it on a spinning rod. I like using a 3/0 to a 4/0 EWG hook. You might like using a worm hook, a flipping hook, or whatever. Either way, Texas rig that fluke on there and go to work. Let it sink and then twitch it subtly. But try to keep that bait moving. I'm not really dead sticking it right now. Right now, I'm trying to keep that bait moving. And that's when I'm having the most impact. That's when I'm having the best results whenever I'm fishing a fluke. But we can even step it up from there. Say we want to go with a little bit faster presentation. That's still very gentle. Again, fishing pressured fisheries. You've got guys that are fishing bladed jigs, guys that are fishing crankbaits everywhere, and there's just all kinds of noise in the water. Well, that's when I go with this little guy. And you already know, if you're familiar with the channel, what this is. You guys call this the lowbrow rig. All it is a bitsy bug or swim jig that I've taken the skirt off of and threaded on a little swim bait. In this case, this is a 3-inch Rapala Crush City Mayor. I love these things. It's the perfect size for my fishery. And whatever color that is, I just call it smoked shad. That is a perfect color that gets those bass to bite. Very simple, like you would fish any other type of swim bait, right? Cast it out there, slow roll it back. And this, I'm fishing on a spinning combo. You could also do this on a bait caster if you'd like, or you could even do it on a BFS. All of those would be equally effective. What matters is the retrieve. I go slow enough that I'm ticking the tops of the vegetation. But if I find myself getting stuck in that vegetation constantly over and over, I go a little bit faster. I don't want to be above the vegetation where I'm not hitting anything. If that's the case, then I slow down the retrieve. And working through the top of that vegetation, that's where those bass seem to like it best. And they will just come up and they will inhale it. And again, keep your color selection simple. I go with that smoked shad, or I will go with a green pumpkin color. I don't need to have 1,000 different colors. Whenever you get things so complicated, then we lose focus on what we're doing and things get away from us. Now, let's say we want to scale that up. Let's say there's some wind on the water, there's a little bit of stain on the water. We still want to be subtle with it, but we kind of want to have a little bit more attention to our bait. And that's when, well, you guys remember this? The old beetle swim, right? It's basically the same thing. This is a 3/8 ounce swim bait jig that I've got another Crush City Mayor on the back of it, and a blade that I've taken off of a beetle spin and put on here. Basically, it's a small little spinner bait. Now, you can buy those blades. You can buy them, Arky sell them, and you can buy them at Walmart. And they're about $1 a pack for 2 or 3 blades, and they work great. Put them on your swim bait, right? Again, fishing that on a spinning combo, and I'm working it almost exactly the same way I would a swim bait or a spinner bait. I cast it out there, and I'm slow reeling it, trying to tick the tops of that vegetation. And when I'm getting hit, it's not playing around. They're not nibbling at it. They're not kidding around with it. They are smashing that thing. So I get a little bit more wind. Maybe I need a little bit more flash, a little bit more thump on the water. That's when that beetle swim comes into play. And I'm telling you what, I've caught some really nice fish using that. So What if we want to go a little bit bigger, right? Well, you guys have heard me talk about using an Alabama rig. And I know a lot of guys can't use an Alabama rig. And that's a huge step up between the small little Beetle Swim and a great big A rig. But there's a reason why I'm bringing that up. Because using the Alabama rig as a basis, I started fishing this. This is something else that I came up with. And that's where I've taken an underspin and again, taken that little Beetle spin blade and I've put it on that underspin and I'm threading it up with a swim bait. In this case, this is a Googan Saucy Swimmer. That's a 4-inch one. And I like using a little bit bigger swim bait on this because it's a little bit more flash, it's a little bit more thump, and it's got a little bit more vibration in the water. And I'll use this whenever it's good and windy and I've got some wind-driven current that's blowing through the top of the water. A lot of ways that I would use a normal spinnerbait, but it's actually more compact and it actually has a little bit more flash. So it looks like that small school of bait that's going through the water. Standard casting setup. This is my cranking rig, or one of my cranking rigs. I actually started using this one again. I hadn't used it in a while. This is that rod that's got the micro guides on it. This is a medium heavy with a moderate fast tip. It's got a softer tip. And I forgot how bendy this thing was until I used it all day. And it took a little bit to get used to again. But it's perfect for something like this. It's perfect for crankbaits. It's perfect for spinnerbaits. It's got that tip so I can just lean into that bite and I don't have to try to hook set like I'm trying to pull their dentures out of their face. The cool thing is, though, is whenever I fish this, I want to show you guys a fish catch. And it's not a big fish. It's actually a very small fish, but it kind of weirded me out. And even now, thinking about this fish, it weirded me out. Have a look at this crazy thing.
Got him. I got him. On the dum-dum rig. Boy, look at, he choked that. Dang, dude. You got some great big eyeballs. You got some great big eyeballs. Boy, you got some great big eyeballs. There we go. On the dum-dum rig, that eyeball is disproportionately large compared to that one. That's crazy. He's got a normal sized eyeball on his left, but on the right side, I don't know if you guys can see that, how much bigger the eyeball is on the right side. Let me get a close-up of that. Either way, dum-dum rig did good. Caught us a little fish. 3/4 of a pound. Alright, let's see if we can improve on that.
So not even a pound, but boy, that eyeball creeped me out. And it still creeps me out. And I don't know what it is about it, but that great big eyeball. That bass had a huge eyeball. Now I thought maybe whenever it bit the hook that maybe I set the hook and it popped the eyeball out or something like that. But looking at that fish, it did not look like the eyeball had popped out. It just looked like it was really big, like some kind of genetic defect. So I don't know. Either way, it still gives me the willies thinking about that crazy fish. And you see how effective that little Beetle Swim and the dum-dum rig, which is what I call this. This right here, I call it the dum-dum rig. It's just that Beetle spin blade on top and it's an underspin on bottom with a swim bait. And you see how effective it is. I'm going from the most finesse, the quietest, with that soft jerk bait, with that fluke. And then we go to a swim bait. And then we're going up to the Beetle Swim and expanding. I want to start as quiet as I can and see what happens. If I work that fluke and I don't get any interest, and I know there are bass in the area, either I can see life, the birds, the minnows, or I'm seeing the bass bust, then I will go up to the swim bait. And I'm telling you, you will hone in exactly on what those bass are looking for. It won't take you nearly as long as you think it will. And once you find it, there you go. You are going to have that success dialed in. So give that method a try. Start simple and work your way up. You don't have to be complicated with it. You don't even have to use swim bait. You can use something else. Use a method that works for you. So there you have it. A very simple way, a very simple system that you can use on your fishery to go out and start getting those tough September bites. It's not that hard. And when everybody else is getting the skunk, you can still be catching some nice fish. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.